Everyone knows Julius Caesar as a land general. Legions, marches, sieges, conquest. But what if that image is incomplete? What if some of Caesar's most critical victories didn't happen on land at all, but on the water? Today we're uncovering the overlooked naval side of Julius Caesar, a story of desperate improvisation, brutal innovation, and surprising limitations. Because Caesar didn't just fight with legions, he fought with fleets. And sometimes, the sea nearly destroyed him. Rome is often remembered as a land empire, and for good reason. Its legions were unmatched in discipline and endurance. But Rome was not naturally a naval superpower. Unlike Carthage or the Greek city-states, Rome lacked a deep maritime tradition. Ships were tools, not symbols of prestige. Caesar inherited this weakness. He wasn't trained as an admiral. He didn't command a permanent navy. Yet again and again, his campaigns forced him onto the sea, and failure at sea often meant total collapse. That pressure would push Caesar into becoming something unexpected, a naval innovator. Caesar's first true naval crisis came during the Gallic Wars, against the Veneti, a powerful seafaring tribe on the Atlantic coast. The Veneti didn't fight like Romans. Their ships were taller, heavier, reinforced with iron chains, nearly immune to Roman ramming tactics. Caesar's fleet was outmatched, so he improvised. Instead of trying to sink enemy ships, Caesar ordered his men to use hooked blades mounted on poles. Dynamic action shot of Roman sailors using the hooked weapons to tear at Veneti ship rigging. Designed to rip the rigging and sails from Veneti vessels. No sails meant no movement. No movement meant capture. This wasn't traditional naval combat, it was engineering as a weapon. Once immobilized, the Veneti fleet was systematically destroyed. Naval power wasn't just about battles, it was about supply. Caesar's armies depended on grain shipments, reinforcements, weapons, and horses, Roman messenger ships crossing between distant shores, signal fires burn on coastal towers. The vast distances of Caesar's empire are emphasized through sweeping shots of ships on endless water, communication across vast distances. A single lost supply convoy could starve an entire legion. Aerial shot following Roman supply barges moving up a major river. The camera reveals how waterways cut through otherwise impassable terrain, providing rapid transport routes. Caesar used rivers and coastlines as floating highways, allowing him to move faster than enemies expected. Close-up of Caesar's hands moving pieces on a strategic map showing sea routes and timing. Candles flicker as he calculates distances and supply schedules. The complexity of naval logistics is evident. In many campaigns, control of the sea meant control of time, and time was Caesar's deadliest advantage. Then came one of Caesar's boldest and riskiest moves, Britannia. Caesar standing on the deck of his flagship, studying the hostile British coast. His expression shows determination mixed with uncertainty. Spray from rough seas dampens his cloak. Crossing the English Channel wasn't a show of strength, it was a gamble. Roman vessels battling massive Atlantic swells and violent storms. Ships pitch and roll dangerously. Sailors struggle to maintain control as waves crash over the decks. Roman ships weren't built for Atlantic tides. They struggled with violent storms, unfamiliar currents, shallow, hostile beaches. Broken Roman ships scattered along the British shore. Cavalry horses struggle in the surf. Supplies float uselessly in the water. The invasion's difficulties are starkly visible. Ships were wrecked. Cavalry transports failed to arrive. Supplies were delayed. Caesar survived, but barely. Caesar and his engineers examining damaged ships and making notes for improvements. New ship designs are sketched. The failure becomes a learning opportunity. The invasion exposed Rome's naval limitations in brutal fashion. Yet even this failure mattered. It taught Rome how to build better transports, how to plan amphibious landings, how dangerous naval ignorance could be. Failure became instruction. Caesar's most desperate naval moment came in Alexandria. Trapped in the city during a civil war, Caesar was outnumbered, cut off. Essential grain barges attempting to reach Alexandria up the Nile River. Enemy forces threaten the supply line. The city's survival depends on these crucial deliveries. Dependent on grain arriving by river, control of the Nile became the difference between survival and death. Intense, close-quarters naval combat in Alexandria's confined harbor. Small Roman vessels engage enemy ships between the famous lighthouse and city walls. Fire arrows streak through the air. Naval skirmishes erupted in the harbor. Blockades choked supply lines. Dramatic recreation of Caesar swimming through harbor waters, holding documents above his head. Behind him, ships burn in the night. His desperate escape emphasizes how close he came to total defeat. At one point, Caesar famously had to swim for his life, clutching documents above the water while ships burned behind him. Roman reinforcement fleet arriving at dawn, breaking the naval blockade. Fresh ships and troops pour into the harbor. Caesar's relief is visible as naval control shifts back to Rome. Eventually, reinforcements arrived, by sea. Once again, naval control didn't win glory, it prevented annihilation. Caesar didn't create a permanent Roman navy, but he changed Rome's mindset. After Caesar, naval power became integrated into military planning. Fleets were no longer afterthoughts. Control of seas meant control of empire. His genius wasn't mastery of the ocean, it was adaptability. Caesar didn't dominate the sea, but he learned to survive it, and that lesson helped shape the Roman Empire that followed. So next time you picture Caesar, don't just imagine marching legions. Picture ships creaking in storms, improvised weapons tearing sails apart, and a general learning, sometimes the hard way, that power doesn't stop at the shoreline. If this changed how you see Roman history, like, subscribe, and comment. What untold story should we uncover next?